Well,
Oh, that happened a little bit quickly. Okay. Hi, everyone. Sorry, Josh, I'm going to do my thing.
go for it.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Josh and I are just doing a little chat today. We kind of got started already, and then I said, hey, look, maybe we should record this. So that's what we're doing. And Josh, if you don't know, he's on Substack, Medium, and he's on TikTok. I think he's got 15,000 followers. Am I right? 15?
My new account does, yeah. The old one I used to have a lot more, 215,000, but that was
Oh,
stuck in
all those
Indonesia.
eyeballs. Okay.
All those eyeballs.
Hmm. Anyway, if you don't know Josh, he is an adventurer, an explorer, and a maker of videos. And he's got some really cool stuff out there. And uh, Josh is a writer on Medium also. He writes some really cool stuff, or at least we did. Write some really cool stuff. So, all jokes aside, today we're going to try and talk about moving forward in 2025, what online creators can do, what avenues we have, what writers can do. And we're going to talk about a little bit what happened on Medium, but it won't be too Medium centric because it's something that happens on every online platform, it seems, every 2 to 3 years. So, yeah, you had 200,000 followers on TikTok. You built that up your time in Indonesia.
Yes.
Yeah.
When COVID kicked off, I was on a private island. So I managed to like castaway. I got locked down on this
Mhm.
five-star private island where I was working.
That's okay.
So content, it was just like, oh, well, if you can't make good content here, then you are not destined to make good content. So I managed to
Right.
get it going there.
Right, yeah. So I won't go too heavy on the introduction because I think um, enough people should know by now, and anyone else they can kind of check out. So just to get it out of the way quickly, you mentioned earlier before we started talking on the recording that you had like 200,000 followers on TikTok, and then you couldn't monetize.
Yeah.
So it was like all this hard work and all this creativity, and then all of a sudden, well, not all of a sudden, but then there's this realization that, hang on, I'm not getting anything for my art. And of course, you love, you know, creating and doing videos, and you're doing it for the love of. But at the same time, when there's other people who are making a lot of money from, videos, I don't want to say videos that are of less quality than yours, but maybe slightly easier to do videos, and
Yes, that's
they're
definitely
getting,
fair.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're getting monetized. So you started again, in fairness, and then you built it up from zero to 15,000 on a new account.
Yeah.
And then you discovered Medium in between these two uh, parts. And then, like the rest of us, there was kind of, as you put it, the rug was kind of pulled from us in January. I'm still hoping it was a mistake, but I'm beginning to think it wasn't. So, what are we going to do?
What are we going to do, Peter? One of the things that everyone always talks about online is always like diversifying your the ways that making money if you are relying on making money online, which I think now obviously is smart. I'm 32 years old, but I am the worst businessman on planet Earth. Like I
Hmm.
really am terrible with that sort of stuff, which is why that 200,000 account wasn't making me so much money. Like if I was a business minded individual, I know I could be making a full time income from that. It's because TikTok isn't just about making money through the views of your videos. It's about funneling people. Like TikTok is the best platform in the world to
Hmm.
grab 100,000 eyeballs, and
Hmm.
then it's on to you to not see it as, oh, I'm just putting my art up there for these 100,000 million people. Fantastic. It's about like, okay, now I need to get 5% of them to go somewhere where maybe they can actually support me in a way. I realized I was a terrible businessman when I had commenters saying, Josh, you've been putting videos out there for free for 3 years. Is there any way that we can financially support you? Like I had commenters saying that to me
Hmm.
before I'd even thought about Medium, Substack, releasing merchandise. Like I had people telling me like, you should be giving us a way that we can support you. So that is now something this year, 2025, where I'm giving them at least an option to support me. That's where Substack has been really good for me. I just got one paid subscriber from Substack from a post I just did. Obviously, you're my first paid subscriber, so you're the OG.
That's awesome.
You've already given enough though. You don't have to be a paid subscriber for much longer. But like,
cool. I love it.
But he at least what I realized is I didn't tell anyone to go and pay for my Substack. I just said, look, I'm going to be telling stories over here. If you want some more like almost like bedtime stories, I'll be reading out the articles and you can go and listen to them over there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the followers that came over from TikTok, because they've known me for 3-4 years, a guy was like, yeah, I'll be willing to become a paid subscriber. So it at least gives people an option to support you. So yeah.
That's a good idea. Yeah. There's kind of talk on Medium, which is at the moment where are we going to write for the love of writing or stop? And I think no matter what, look, I said in my last post that I'm going to keep on trying to create stuff, do cool shit or whatever. But there's also the reality that I have 5 or 6 really well put together pieces that I don't think I want to put out now, And there's this kind of dirty word in the writing industry, like money. Like we shouldn't really care about money. It should be for the art. But at the same time, you have to realize we're completely doing this off our own back. There's no agent. There's no studio. Mm-hmm. There's no publisher. There's just a platform that seemed to pay you, and it was all you, the creative part of it. But now it's completely gone. So, how do you think? We already spoke about TikTok, and I gave my thoughts on Medium. Besides, say Substack, and with you TikTok. Just for yourself personally, like what are you doing to like say hone your craft in 2025 and expand out from where you are now? Because you're in London now, right?
I am, yeah. I'm in London. I'm not going to be here for long, I don't think. But I've got so I'm living with a girl who I met in the Philippines on my travels. I literally met her on the island of Siargao, mm-hmm. And then from one sort of night where it was a crazy evening, we went into the sea. She lost an earring, middle of the night. I went back to home, free diving mask. I was free diving for her golden earring. And right. She told me, she was like, if you find the earring, I won't get on the plane tomorrow. So I was diving like a madman to try and find it because I wanted her to stay. She was this she's unbelievably attractive, half Colombian, half English girl. And I was like, I am finding this earring. In the end, I didn't find the earring. So she got on the plane, left the island, but managed to keep the flame going and
right.
went to see it. And that's the flat I'm in now.
So she adopted you.
I've been adopted. It's me and her cat. So I've gone from being like this adventurous soul to being like, I'm a little bit like a house cat now. Like I stay in the flat, she goes off to her acting thing, and then I just have to like.
It's like those kind of adventure movies where you wonder what the hero does in his downtime. It's like, well,
dude, I'm just a house cat. I just pick up Leo's shit all day.
Good. Right.
But essentially, I've realized that I like writing, I like making videos and stuff, but I need to use those skills to support those skills. I think like this idea of having to rely on what you're creating to support you is actually not good for the creativity. It's right. It's nice if it can naturally happen, but thinking every time when I'm writing an article, I need this article to make money, it makes the article shitter. And I can feel this different part of me take over when I try too hard. I can sense my article. I'm like, you sound like a dickhead in this article because you're trying to speak to the Boost nominators,
Right.
So yeah. One of the big thing that I'm doing this year is I know what I'm good at. I'm good at making videos and I'm good at writing. And it's about like finding ways that people are more willing to give you money than just for your creativity for those skills. And one of the ways I found recently was it's called user-generated content. And basically, it's brands are willing to pay you to make a video for their product in a way that would take me literally 30 minutes of my day.
Mhm.
And you become a freelancer, and I could make like 5 of these videos, and they pay anywhere from $100 to $200 for a
Mhm.
30-second clip.
Mhm.
Um, and that's within my skill set. It's not necessarily what I want to be doing forever, but
Mhm.
it will give me a steady stream of income, which will always be there if I have a relationship with the brands. So, and it's not work that I hate. Like I like, it's still storytelling, it's still working with video, but it's for someone in a freelancing capacity. So I'm going to do that this year as well. So I don't have to just rely on money from creative endeavors.
Yeah, because it's going to be tough, especially for anyone who doesn't know what the Boost thing is. It's where they curate your work on Medium and it earns treble the amount. Um, it's going to be tough relying on that because not only was there always the reality that it might not be nominated, there was also the reality that it might not be accepted, and then there was also the reality that it might not do well, you know. So there was already these hurdles in the way of payment. But now, one thing that I wanted to say about having the rug being pulled under us on that writing platform is I think an update before it happened would have been a smart thing to do because it happened so abruptly. Nobody knows what's going on. And now I'm
Mm,
staring down the barrel of a 2 week semester break where I'm like, all right, this is happening at the perfect time where I can regroup. But at the same time, that's a quarter of my earnings, my overall earnings in my life, completely gone, you know? And
yeah.
you're like, okay, now I need to replace that when February starts. And there's no replacing it online right now. For me at least, you know. So I think the rest of 2025 will be just going back writing more and more just on Substack, and my Substack writing is going to be completely different to my Medium writing. You know,
Mm,
like it's not. I'm not going to do the travel tales. I'm going to focus on turning them into something else, but it's going to be mostly humor. You know, which I love
yeah.
doing. And then also the voice notes like in the morning where it's like, hey, look, if I'm going to expect people to not expect but people to open up and pay $1 or $5 a month or whatever, if I'm going to expect people to do that, they should at least get to know me, and you should be vulnerable with them and kind of say like, and be positive, like, all right, this is what I'm doing today. It was a little bit difficult, but we're going to keep going. Or this was a good day. You know what I mean? And this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
for
what I learned.
sure.
But here we go. Um, and I
I
think
think
that's
that's the whole point of Substack, isn't it? Just giving a bit more of a bit more behind the scenes kind of thing, like a bit more access to that, like
it
being
might
able to
be.
build a community around that shared sense. If you have a shared
Yeah,
sense.
exactly. Because it might be healthier um, in the long run. Because I was wondering, okay, so which personality do I want to go with? And for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, which personality, do I want to go with the Jack Hennessy character who does crazy stuff in my writing? Do I want to go with the Peter from 10 years ago who does all the crazy travel stuff, like really introspective, stuff? Or will I just be myself? And I think I can be a lot more consistent by just being myself.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And you don't have to get a, what's the word? There's going to be no fatigue in it. It's
Yeah.
like life is tiring enough. You don't have to say, okay, I'm going to play this character today, because that's very much what happens when you're writing these different pieces. Yourself. You have to like, okay, I'm telling a story about rock paper scissors on a volcano. I don't know when that was for you. That could have been last year, 2 years ago. It might have been 10 years ago. I have no idea. But however long ago it was for you, you do have to go back to Josh from that time to tell that story.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a different person that you're inhabiting if you want to make the piece authentic, you know?
Yeah, no, it takes serious. Yeah, brain power. It does tires you out. That's why I
Yeah.
can only write in the morning. I can't write in the evening because I'm tired by then.
I get the morning one, and then I get the late at night one.
Really, I
Yeah,
wish I got the late at night one, man. My brain is mush late at night.
yeah. I think for the last year now, I've been writing for 4 to 5 hours a day,
Wow, sounds good hustle.
pure writing. Um, 2 minutes editing. Fuck it. It'll be fine. An editor will pick it up.
I'll
All
send
right.
it to the Sturge. The Sturge can have a crack at this one.
I don't think he even looks at them. Yeah, I think he reads them, of course, but um there's a lot of talk about like editing stuff as well, where sometimes I think that was really good for some of my earlier stuff, just to have it be allowed out into the universe without too many
Yeah,
fingers in the pie. I have since gone back and read my earliest boosted pieces, and
yeah,
I was like, shit, I'd never write that now. You know,
yeah.
I would never write that now. I've actually removed probably half of my boosted pieces from Medium. Uh,
Really?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Why?
Um, do you know, man, this is going to sound, it might not make sense, but in my part of the world, the written word comes with a certain amount of risk.
Ireland or Turkey? Turkey.
Turkey, yeah.
Okay, I'm with you.
And I've never said anything about anything really. But at the same time, there's always like that little bit of risk of misunderstanding, you know?
No, I'm completely with you. Yeah,
And, you know, whilst they were making me like, you know, some money, I was like, yeah, okay. But like now they've kind of cooled down, and it gave me a chance to kind of say, like, yeah, I mean, I don't really, I stand by this work, but I no longer need it out there anymore, you know?
yeah.
Like the story's been told, and it's not like, it's not like any of them will take off or anything. So they kind of serve their purpose.
Yeah.
So I just kept some of the ones about Reunion Island. All right, so I'm going to go on to the next topic. I want to ask you about the automation in videos. I was going to say like,
Automation.
yeah.
Okay.
So like, do you have any plan like to say, like you said, you're using all this new stuff for your videos, and you're going to do this freelancing work? Is there any way
Yeah.
that you could like before you go, for someone like you would be really useful before you go on your travels, to automate a load of videos and then just have them come out as you're away?
Okay, so you mean like I pre-record them and then I have them scheduled?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know
you
how
can
anything
do that.
works.
You can do that on TikTok. You can do that on YouTube. You can Instagram. You can schedule your posts. Yeah, I'm not really organized enough to do that.
But what I mean
I
also by automation is like use AI voice instead of your voice.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'd never do that.
No, it always
Not
have
for
to be
me
you. Yeah.
because I think that's like my voice is quite my narration is quite strong. Like I have people commenting saying that's basically my brand is telling the
We're very
stories
good
with
at
my.
reading.
Thank you. I've been doing it since I was a boy.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm terrible, and I'm an English teacher.
Oh yeah, it means actually more coming from an English teacher. Damn, I'll take that. I'll put that straight on my CV.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, but that's another aspect. Like that's an aspect of the work which again is like voiceover work is out there. So if you are a writer and you're reading your articles and you're like into this practice of reading your articles, you do naturally get better at it. Like when I first, if I watch my videos from 3 years ago to now, it's my way I present and the way I talk has completely changed. I've even become less northern. Like I'm born and raised in Chester, and people will always think I'm from down south. And that what's happened, I've naturally changed my tone over
yeah,
the to make it as clear because I've been presenting to a lot of the time it was an African audience with
right.
Tuck South. So you have
Yeah,
to speak as clear. You can't be speaking like you're Noel Gallagher or Liam Gallagher. Like, all right, mate. Like, how's it going? Have you got any of them oranges? Like, you need to try and pronounce everything clearly.
I
So
get that
that's
when I go back to Ireland as well. Um, I try keep my voice as natural or as neutral as possible when I'm in Turkey. And then when I go back to Ireland, it slowly comes back.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you another question, man. Do you think we got to go old school?
What? Write books?
No, fuck books. Um, what I mean is, I shouldn't say that as a writer. What I mean is, like, say, if we actually want to get something done, we're actually going to have to go back to looking for agents, looking for knocking on doors. Like I even said to you yesterday, like, what if you just went out into the park and started filming shit, hoping someone
Mm.
would see you, you know, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's definitely something to be said for that. Like the natural meeting of people, like for sure. Putting
Yeah.
yourself out there will always pay off. Yeah, I think.
All right, cool. That's really all I wanted to say. I'll cut this up and see what we can get out of it
Cool.
later on. So we got 10 minutes, so we can just sit here and these can
Nice.
be bloopers. Oh, fucking hell, man. I'm so tired. I'm fucking wrecked. This was such a fucking stressful week.
Yeah, I'm sure, man. I'm sure.
It's like
The
it
rules.
went from 800 to $1,200 a month down to what's looking like going to be 90 for this month.
Really?
Yeah, that could fucking wipe me out, completely wipe me
Have you? How are your boosted articles doing?
out. Shit.
Really? What's your maximum boosted article?
Of all time,
No, no, for this month,
got $44.
$44. Yeah,
Yeah,
I had one boosted this month, and I think we're sitting at a cool 25.
yeah, I have another boosted one this month as well, and it's 22. And I could live with that if I knew I could, submit some more pieces that could be boosted, but I don't know what's going to happen to them with the algorithm changes. And, in between those boosted pieces, there would be four or five other pieces that would make between $2 and $15. You never know, like just sprinkles of extra bit of earnings.
Mm-hmm.
So plus the residuals from last month. But I make all my money this month has come from my two boosts and everything I published before January. So yeah,
Mm.
it's a fucking balls, man.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
Like, well,
Has anyone figured out what's going on? Have they just ran out of money?
I don't know. I mean, I was at the gym, so I have to have my dirty cigarette to even it out.
You've got to even it out.
They said there's no investors coming,
No
and
investment.
no investors, and it's profitable, but they can't pay. Well, he didn't say I can't pay. He said like if we make $1.01, we want to
Ooh,
give the writer the dollar. I
that
don't
seems like a lie. That seems like a lie.
I don't know. I don't know. I've stopped my friends at Medium.
Yeah.
Um, and I also had another account on Medium as an experiment uh, to see who would make more money in January, me or my alter ego. And I was like, well, I can't run that experiment anymore. I gotta get rid of
You
his
got to make
membership as well. Like, so yeah, I'm down to just my normal $5 a month. And if my earnings drop below $5, um, I'm out because I'm not a I'm not a consumer.
Mm,
Like everyone now is on Substack, so I'm going to read them on Substack, and 90% of the stuff on Medium now is talking about Medium, and sometimes there's a good story. So
yeah.
I'm not going to pay $5 for that. I'd rather spend it on you or say Robin or someone else who comes along, or
Mm,
not spend it at all. Buy food.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Substack is like it's a slow old game, but you seem to be you've had good growth recently.
Yeah, no, it's been amazing. Robin did the post with me, and uh, that was really kind of her. And I got like 40 or 50 subscribers and 2 paid subscribers, which was
Amazing.
awesome. And then since then, I was like, all right, I gotta run with this because when someone like that kind of gives you that kind of up, it's like you can't just say, oh, great. I was like, since then, I've been commenting on, say, her post or Jason's posts or other people's posts. They're writing and not just comments like, hey, that's great. I've been like trying to leave a joke or something funny that people can pick up
Mhm.
on and then check me out. Doing the little podcast every day, as you know, and changing my writing style to be kind of like there's no satire tag. It's more like I'm telling the audience at the beginning, like, I'm fucking around here, don't worry. So that it's not too
Yeah,
jarring for people when they open it up, or this story is a serious story about this. It is as follows, which is something I
yeah.
do on Medium. So far it's been really enjoyable. Um, I got into my bank account uh $60 today from my 2 subscribers. And it was kind
So
of
they
like
paid for the year.
I
Yes,
paid for the
year.
year, yeah. But the money hit the account today, and I was just kind of like, it was like one of those things where I went from feeling amazing at the beginning of January, like, here we go, I'm going to go all in on Medium. I've got all these pieces ready to go. And then the thing on Substack started to kind of take off. And then the next week, it all just went, whoom, you know? So it's been fun. It's been fun enjoying the Substack process without huge earnings. It's just been
Yeah,
enjoyable. Yeah. And that's it.
fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Substack would be so nice if it did well. Like if it did well, it does solve all issues. If like Robin's on the hundreds of subscribers now, isn't she?
Yeah, she's like in the top 50 in humor.
Smashed it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't need a lot to get by. So, and I was never going to leave teaching completely, and we're going to try open up this course in the summertime. But at the same time, there's also reality where it's kind of like, how much time can you put into this before life takes over? Because
Yeah,
with Medium, I gave myself 3 months. And then after 3 months, I made my first like $70. And I was like, okay, I'll give myself another month. And then it took
yeah,
off.
yeah,
So I think it's Substack. It's going to have to be like a year or two. So
yeah, for sure.
the big test is going to be, can I keep up with it for 2 years
Yeah.
in a way that doesn't ruin my life?
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
what about freelancing opportunities, writing or editing? You know how there's quite I saw a lot of roles on Fiverr of writers. I mean, there's a lot. Have you ever researched that?
Yeah, no, I have. A lot of the stuff is pretty kind of straightforward. I've done a lot of editing in the education academic field, and it doesn't pay a lot,
Right.
and it's awful. And so I've done some of those things. No, I'm just going to continue writing scripts, writing short movies, and then if my brother and I get any finance, we're going to try to do a project together. Because it's fucked up, man. It's crazy. It's like, even though he's like working with Warner Brothers and doing all these projects like F1, it's still really hard work for him. And it's not, I don't want to speak for him, but it's not his passion.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to be making a crazy TV show, or I want to
Yeah.
be doing this and that. So he's like, you can write, your stuff is funny. I like the way you do things, so maybe we'll be able to do something. And I'm like, yeah, just tell me how that side of the world of the business kind of works, and I'll keep, I'll have a stack of shit that we can throw at it and see what
Yeah.
happens. So that's going to be 2025.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, dude. If you want, we can log back on for a final 10-minute goodbye. That's more
Yeah,
natural.
we can for sure. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
for a pee.
Yeah, cool. I'll send
But
it back to you.
perfect.